If you're looking for a used vehicle in the Chicagoland area, North Naperville Autos is your one-stop shop for quality pre-owned cars. Stop in and visit or browse their inventory online at www.northnapervilleautos.com. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2013 Toyota Highlander SE. Up front is a 3.5 liter V6 and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Toyota Highlander for a couple of reasons. First of all, I've done a lot of the other generations of Highlander, the brand new one, as well as one of the older ones. So it's always fun to round out a vehicle model in all of its generations. But the second reason is the fact that a lot of people ask me, hey Zach, what's a good reliable 3-row SUV? Well, I'm excited to say you're looking at one. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, ZachPradel.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you can get a video of your car just like this one. And you could read my behind-the-scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 3.5 liter V6 under the hood. Well, there were a couple engines offered. You could also get the Highlander with the 2.7 liter inline 4, which is their more industrial, heavy-duty 4-cylinder that you'll find in the Tacoma. That made around 187. This makes 270 horsepower. But that's not really the reason why I would be interested in this engine. The reason I'm interested in this engine is because Toyota put it in everything that they made with 4 wheels. Not completely, but pretty dang close. This is a very thoroughly used engine, and so if you need parts, if you need repairs, if you need solenoids or sensors, they're going to be easily available because Toyota makes so many of these. And this engine is still in use even today. So that to me is always a very, very good sign. Like I said, bear do it, automatic transmission. It's fine, it's doing the job. I don't notice it, which is good. It's a 10-year-old automatic. I don't really expect a whole lot out of it. Last but not least, this particular Highlander is all-wheel drive. However, you can still find a front-wheel drive Highlander in this generation. So how does it drive altogether? Well, it's pretty mundane. It's like any other SUV. The visibility is pretty good. The steering isn't too heavy, but it's also not dangerously light. The acceleration is solid, but I'm not over the moon, if you could tell by the inflection in my voice. It's fine. Toyotas, they drive fine. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of physical gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer. In the center is my coolant temperature and fuel. And off to the right is the speedometer. I like these little red accents. I think it adds a little bit of liveliness to the Highlander, although there's no other sporty accents throughout the interior, so they kind of feel a little out of place at times, but that's okay. The steering wheel is lopsided. Off to the left, I have my volume, skip track, mode, and phone options. And off to the right, I just have display and voice commands. That's it. And we'll talk about what that display controls in a second. Off to the left, I have a climate control vent, power mirror switches, my heated windshield wipers. So there's actually an element underneath the windshield wipers that you can turn on to de-ice them. This is genius, and I don't know why more cars don't do it. Then I have my traction control off, my gauge dimmer switch, and my tailgate button. Moving on to the door, I have my lock and unlock and power windows. And then moving into the center, I have 2 climate control vents, but then I get this little screen. This screen is really, really nice. It has multiple colors in it. It's clear. It's easy to read. I don't know why Toyota spent the extra money to give us this nice little screen. Could have easily have been a black and white digit screen that just cycles through things like a little digital clock. But they went through the trouble of doing this, and that's controlled through the display button on the steering wheel. Very, very interesting. Speaking of screens, I have another screen here in the center. This is the infotainment system. Now, this is going to be a big difference between the SE and the upper trim of the Limited. The Limited would have gotten a bigger screen, bigger, nicer infotainment system. But I just have this, which does in fact have navigation. It's touchscreen, and to my surprise, it actually has a backup camera. Now, it's not a good backup camera. It's not very nice, but it is a backup camera, which this vehicle was built 5 years before they were legally required by the government. So this was a very nice feature at the time. Then I get a cubby, and off to the left and right, I have the hazard switch, and then I just have a light for the passenger airbag and such. These look like knobs. They're not knobs. Don't know why they designed them that way. Then we have the climate controls. So I get tons of different options here. Fan speed all the way off to the left, temperature in the center, and where to send it off to the right. These knobs feel amazing. They're very clicky, have great tactile feedback. They feel like they're built very sturdy, and that's hard to come across in climate control sometimes, and I like that about this. Then I do have my USB and aux input, as well as my 2 different levels of heated seats. I love that these dials pop out like they're old like treble and bass controls from the 80s. You pop them in, pop them out, you adjust them, and I love that about it. Then off to the right, I do have a 12-volt outlet. Moving into the center, we have the shifter off to the left. I can plus minus if I'd like, but this is the jigsaw shifter that you'll find in pretty much every Toyota from this era, and honestly, even still to this day sometimes. Then I have another 12-volt outlet. Really, really nice that there's 2 of them so close to one another. Then I have snow mode and hill descent control mode. So this is basically like cruise control for going downhill, so your car doesn't run away from you because of gravity. Then off to the right, we do have cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the 2013 Toyota Highlander. And unfortunately, it tricks you. It looks like it would go in, but alas, it is millimeters too small to accept the big frickin' bottle. But hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Then you can open up this little trap door, and there's 2 more cup holders. However, they're too small with this divider, and then when you take out the divider, they're too big. So this car double, if not triple, fails the big friggin' bottle test. Insane. Then I do get a giant center console, nothing really going on in there, but plenty of storage options. And then we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are power, heated, and decently comfortable. They don't say anything on them, they're just sort of this black taut leather, and they do the job. However, I'm not complaining, and honestly, with the heated seat element on a cold day like today, I am pleasantly enjoying them. However, speaking of seats, we do have 2 more rows of seating. So let's go do some backseat reviews. All right, so we're in the back of the 2013 Toyota Highlander SE, and a couple of things to note. First of all, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm sitting here normally. Knees are not hitting the seat in front of me. Head is not hitting the ceiling. It's a very pleasurable, open experience that I really, really like. I do also get my own temperature control down here, fan speed, where to send it, and temperature. So the full options that the front seat gets, I get back here. Absolutely love that. I also have pull-out cup holders, kind of small, but they work, and a giant openable cubby for storing the center seat option. Very, very cool. You can take a look at how to do that on the actual lid of the container. Love that. Speaking of the center console, this has a center console in place, so I get more cup holders, more storage here, as well as it has this sort of non-slip top to it, so if I put toys or, you know, a fast food bag or something on here, it's not going to slide around and things like that, but I can replace that with a center seat if I'd like to. However, speaking of additional seats, we do have a 3rd row, so let's hop in the very back. All right, so now we're in the 3rd row of the Highlander, and it's fine. If this seat were up, my knees would be hitting the front. For a big guy, I don't want to be stuck back here. My head's starting to hit the ceiling a little bit, but I do have cup holders on either side, things like that. It's very manageable for kids, or if you absolutely need the extra seats, the Highlander gives that to you, but it's not a very comfortable 3-row SUV. I would say that the Sequoia is a lot better, but that's just my own personal opinion. Let's hop out now. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so on the back of the 2013 Highlander, something really cool to note is that on the key fob, I can actually hold it, and it will just pop the rear glass. So I can also hit this button right here, but just the rear glass comes up to offer a really, really nice access hatch for whatever you have in the back. If you have pets and you don't want them to jump out, big golden retriever, this is perfect for that. Or if you want to use it for a filming car, whatever it might be, you just want quick access to something on top, you can just open up the rear glass, and I think that's an amazing, amazing feature that I wish more cars had. But closing it down here, then we can open up the hatch itself. And obviously I was just sitting back here, but we can push these down And there we go. That is the rear cargo space of the Highlander. Plenty of room with that third row down. I mean, really, really tons of great room. You even have room off to the sides here, and you can pull the seats down here. You also have a 12-volt outlet, which is fantastic. And you can pull this up. You get a little bit extra storage down there. So plenty of space in the back of the Highlander. Now we got to talk about the looks, and I don't know if it gets more bland than this. I would honestly say that this looks like an 07, 08, but it's a 2013, so even by 2013 standards, it looks a little dated. I don't really like it. I can't even consider it macaroni styling because I don't like it, and I don't really have much nostalgia with vehicles like this. So it's just kind of here, it's just kind of existing, which in some cases is fine, but I wouldn't say it's the prettiest thing in the world. But with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving Toyota Highlander from 2013? Well, I have to say, I like it. This to me is the epitome of what makes Toyota so great. Toyota to me has always invoked the spirit of the Japanese people. Everything is done properly. Everything has a function. Everything has a point. They're not the most flamboyant cars. They're not going to drop your jaw if you pull up behind one at Whole Foods, but they work. They're fantastic in the fact that they're durable, they're reliable, they're simple. This car doesn't give me a headache trying to figure out all the buttons, knobs, and dials. I got in this morning, I turned the key, I started making this video. Does this car make me overly enthusiastic? No. Not really. But how I feel about this car is the same way I feel about a glass of water, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a plain white t-shirt, a bifold wallet, a 10mm box end wrench. Those are the things that just work, and they don't have all this extra BS around them. When you buy a Toyota, you're not making a political statement. You're just buying a car that works really well and continues to work really well. That's what I love to see. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me take out their 2013 Toyota Highlander SE. This is one of their vehicles on their lot. They are absolutely awesome. They offer financing. They are Carfax certified, as well as they will ship to any of the 48 states if you're looking to buy cross-country. Please check them out with the information up on the screen or linked in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.